In 1960, Dubai had no paved roads, no electricity grid, no airport worth mentioning. Today, it has the tallest building on Earth, an indoor ski resort in the desert, and a police force that patrols in Lamborghinis. Something happened between those two moments that doesn't make sense. Because Dubai sits in one of the most hostile environments on the planet. Summer temperatures hit 120 degrees. There's almost no fresh water. The soil is basically sand and rock. And yet, somehow, this place convinced the world's richest people to move there. This isn't a story about oil. Dubai's oil was always modest, and it's nearly gone. This is about something else, something most people misunderstand completely. This is about how a city built itself from nothing by selling one thing: the absence of rules. Let's start with what Dubai actually is. It's one of 7 emirates that make up the United Arab Emirates. Think of it like a city-state inside a loose federation. The ruler of Dubai has almost total control over what happens inside his territory. And right now, that ruler is Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He's been in charge since 2006, but the foundation for what Dubai became was laid by his father decades earlier. In the 1960s, Dubai's economy ran on pearls and fishing. That's it. Then, in 1966, oil was discovered offshore. Not a massive reserve like Saudi Arabia or Kuwait, but enough. Here's where the story splits from every other Gulf state. The ruler at the time, Sheikh Rashid, did something unusual. He looked at the oil revenue and made a calculation. He knew it wouldn't last forever. Dubai's reserves were small. So instead of building palaces and handing out cash to citizens, he spent the oil money on infrastructure. In 1970, he dredged Port Rashid. Then came Jebel Ali, which became the largest man-made harbor in the world. He built roads, power plants, desalination facilities, an airport. The logic was simple: turn Dubai into a hub, a place where goods and people move through on their way to somewhere else. Make it so useful that it doesn't matter if the oil runs out. And then, in the late 1990s, something shifted. Dubai stopped being just a logistics hub. It started selling itself as a destination, not for tourists, for money. Here's how the model works. Dubai offers 3 things that almost no other major economy does: 0 income tax, 0 capital gains tax, and total secrecy. If you're wealthy and you move to Dubai, you keep everything you earn. No reporting to a home government, no audits, no transparency requirements. Your money becomes invisible. But it's more than just taxes. Dubai has built an entire ecosystem designed to make wealth comfortable. You can own property as a foreigner. You don't need a local partner in most free zones. There are no currency controls. You can move money in and out without restrictions. And the legal system, especially in the financial free zones, operates under common law with international arbitration, meaning it doesn't run on Sharia or local court systems that outsiders don't trust. On top of that, there's the residency visa program. Spend about $500,000 on property, and you can get a long-term visa. For the ultra-wealthy, there's the golden visa, 10-year residency, no requirement to actually live there full-time. So what you get is a base, a legal address in a zero-tax jurisdiction with modern infrastructure, political stability, and proximity to Europe, Asia, and Africa. Now here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Dubai's population is roughly 3.5 million people. Only about 10% of them are Emirati citizens. The other 90% are foreign workers and expatriates. And among that 90%, there's a sharp divide. At the top, you have the wealthy elite, hedge fund managers, crypto traders, Russian oligarchs, British influencers, Indian industrialists. They live in penthouses in the Marina or Palm Jumeirah. They're the ones driving the Ferraris. Below them is the massive labor force. Construction workers from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, the Philippines. They live in labor camps on the outskirts. They work in heat that can kill. And they do it for wages that would be illegal almost anywhere else. This is the model. A city that imports everything, including its people. A place where the rich pay nothing and the poor build everything. And it works because Dubai doesn't pretend to be anything else. Now let's talk about the towers. The Burj Khalifa, 828 meters tall, opened in 2010, right after the global financial crisis nearly destroyed Dubai's economy. It's not just a building, it's a statement. Here's what most people don't know. The Burj Khalifa was supposed to be called Burj Dubai, Tower of Dubai. But during construction, the emirate ran out of money. They had borrowed billions to fund the real estate boom, and when the 2008 crisis hit, it all collapsed. Dubai's biggest state-owned developer, Nakheel, defaulted. Property prices dropped 50%. The whole thing was about to implode. Then, Abu Dhabi stepped in. The neighboring emirate, which actually has oil wealth, bailed out Dubai with a $20 billion loan. In exchange, Dubai renamed its tallest building after Abu Dhabi's ruler, Sheikh Khalifa. The tower became a monument to debt, but it worked. Because the spectacle is the point. Dubai's entire economy is built on perception. If it looks successful, money flows in. If it looks like it's failing, money leaves. So they kept building. The Palm Jumeirah, the World Islands, the Dubai Frame. Projects that make no practical sense, but generate headlines. And then there's Expo 2020, delayed to 2021 because of the pandemic. It cost Dubai over $7 billion. The stated goal was to attract investment and tourism. The real goal was to remind the world that Dubai is still relevant. Because that's the vulnerability. Dubai has no natural resources left, no oil to fall back on. Its entire model depends on people believing it's the place to be. Let's zoom out and look at what's actually happening. Dubai's GDP is around $110 billion. That sounds impressive until you realize it's smaller than Ireland's, and a huge portion of it comes from real estate and tourism, both of which are volatile. The government is opaque about debt, but estimates put Dubai's total obligations somewhere north of $130 billion. That's more than the GDP, and most of it is held by state-owned enterprises that operate in the shadows. Then there's the labor issue. Human Rights Watch has documented widespread abuse in Dubai's construction sector. Workers have their passports confiscated. They're housed in cramped, unsafe conditions. And when they try to protest or organize, they're deported. This is the cost of building a city from scratch in 50 years. And now, there's another problem: competition. Saudi Arabia is trying to build its own version of Dubai. They're constructing Neom, a $500 billion futuristic city in the desert. They're opening up tourism. They're issuing investor visas. They're poaching talent and capital from Dubai. Qatar is doing the same. So is Abu Dhabi, which has been quietly positioning itself as the more stable, sophisticated alternative. Dubai's model was brilliant when it was the only option. But now, every Gulf state is copying it, and they all have more oil money to throw at the problem. Here's the other crack in the facade: geopolitics. Dubai has always tried to stay neutral. It does business with everyone: the US, China, Russia, Iran, India. But as global tensions escalate, neutrality becomes harder to maintain. Western governments are cracking down on tax havens. The OECD is pushing for transparency. The US is investigating money laundering routes through Dubai. Russia's war in Ukraine has made the flow of Russian money politically toxic. Dubai thrives in the gray zone, but that gray zone is shrinking. So here's the uncomfortable question. What happens when the story stops working? Dubai's whole existence is based on confidence. Confidence that it's safe, that it's glamorous, that it's the future. But confidence is fragile. If property prices crash again, wealthy expats leave. If Western governments start blacklisting Dubai banks, the financial flows dry up. If Saudi Arabia successfully builds Neom, the competition becomes existential. And beneath all of it is the deeper question: what is Dubai, really? It's not a democracy. It's not transparent. It has no social safety net for the majority of people who live there. It's a corporation dressed up as a city, a place designed for capital, not people. That works in a boom, but every boom ends. The irony is that Dubai's greatest achievement might also be its biggest risk. It proved you can build a world-class city in the middle of a desert with almost no natural advantages. You just need money, ambition, and a willingness to ignore uncomfortable questions. But cities aren't just buildings, they're systems, and systems need foundations. Dubai built itself on sand, and now it's betting everything that the world won't look down. The question isn't whether Dubai will survive the next crisis. It's whether it was ever built to last in the first place. And nobody, not even the people running it, seems to know the answer.